We are going to be talking about an automotive scanner. This is for an OBD2. You plug it in and you see what's wrong with your car. So ThinkCar has sent this to me to check out, review it. I recently bought a car, the one behind me. It's a 2013 Mazda CX-5. While there's no engine lights on, I think we can change some configurations electronically through this that I want to do. And then I have another vehicle that we'll pull in that has a check engine light, and we'll see if we can diagnose the problem with that using this right here. One thing I'd like to mention is, in order to get something as intuitive as something like this, obviously I haven't hooked it up. I don't know how good it is yet, but I have a feeling I know what to expect from this. And for about $200, which is what I had seen this range from, I think $179 at the lowest and $199 or $189 at the highest. But for $200, this is going to give you a lot more information than a $30 code reader that you're going to pick up at AutoZone or someplace like that. That being said, we're going to go ahead and open this up, check it out, see what's in the box, and then we'll get it plugged in and see what happens. One thing that really interested me about this is that there are lifetime updates, free lifetime updates. I've purchased other scanners similar to this, and they'll give you the first year, first 3 years with free upgrades, but then after that, if you want to update, I'm sorry, not upgrades, if you want to update, then you have to sign up and pay for each update. Now what the updates do is they will upload newer vehicles as that information comes available and the protocols in order to communicate back and forth. Enough rambling. So here we've got a quick start guide. We have the unit itself, USB-C charging cable, and then we have the main serial cable. So we've got an old style serial end on here, and then we've got the OBD2 end right here. And then we have a little bag of silica. So we'll set this to the side. We'll just take a glance at the quick start guide, see if it's of any help. Usually plugging it in and just starting to play with it is the easiest thing for me. So right now I'm just going to peel this protective coating cover off the screen and we'll power it on. There is a power button right here on the top. I mean, it feels nice and sturdy. So it looks like it'll be a press and hold. So we'll do this together. So we have our welcome screen. And this is the first time I'm turning it on, so it's probably got to do some uploading and probably some setup. So maybe some things that I will need to do off camera, but okay. Select our language. Okay, so it looks like maybe we are ready to start. So it's asking for a VIN and it's going to do an auto search once we plug it in. So I'm just going to leave it turned on just like this. We'll get the cable installed. So we plug the cable in here, get it seated, run these thumb screws down. For some of you, this is elementary information I'm giving, but for some that maybe have never had anything like this, I just want to give you a quick rundown on how it all goes together. So I'm going to go ahead and jump in the car and get this plugged in, and then we'll see what happens from this point forward. Okay, so what we're looking for down here is this plug right here, and we're just going to plug this into it. Okay, so we heard some noise here. Try and get this where there's no glare. So now we're going to hit enter. Failed to read bin. Alright, so we're just going to select the year, make, and model. Helps if we have the key fobulation. Let's see if this helps. Okay, maybe this will help. Oh, now I found it. So we'll just go ahead and do a system scan. So these are all saying memory. So I think that maybe these have been issues in the past and they have been they are no longer an issue. So like I said, there's no check engine light, but that's not to say that somebody didn't remove a light bulb or something from the instrument cluster. Well, actually, it's on right now. Everything else is showing nice and good, so I'm going to go ahead and, you couldn't see any of that. So I'm going to go ahead and clear the top dead center codes. Now what I would like to do is, okay, so we have some maintenance, ABS, airbag reset, battery matching. On some newer cars, when you replace the battery, you have to do this. Electronic brake pads. Some cars have electric parking brakes. This will release that, I think. DPF, don't really know exactly what that is. Some cars you have to relearn the throttle, gearbox, anti-theft. So what I'm actually looking for is some electronics things that I can change. Okay, I think we're going to pull the other vehicle in. We're going to take a look at it and see if we can go a little deeper. But before we do that, I am going to grab another code reader and see if I can get into the systems to change some settings on this. Plans have changed. I was going to pull in the 2008 Dodge Grand Caravan that I already know had a check engine light and I already know what it was, so at least I'd be able to validate the machine or the scan tool. But I had some issues with getting it running to get it in here. So this is a 2013 Honda Pilot and it currently has a check engine light. So we're going to hook up to this and we're going to go through it and see what we can find. I'm going to plug this in and then we'll go from there. We're just going to set this down here. I will turn the key on. It's going to make an annoying beep for a minute. Okay, keys on. Couple lights on, but mainly that check engine light is the one that we're going to be checking. So we're going to click on diagnose. Thought maybe we could do an auto search, see if it pulls up what we need. Okay, 2013 Honda Pilot. This is a 16-pin US vehicle. We want to probably do a system scan. Okay, this is what we're looking for. The ECM has indicated 2 codes. Okay, so we currently have an O2 signal and a catalyst system code. Usually this one will clear up with this one. Let's see what we got when we click on this. Alright, so what I will do at this point is I will Google P2270, and so it's saying that it's stuck lean, so it sounds like we're getting less fuel than we need. I could be wrong on that, but I will go ahead and clear this, and we'll see if it takes care of our check engine light. And then it's going to ask if we want to clear the system. Alright, we'll go to relive data. And these will be things that you can select that you want to show on screen. So we do have an O2 sensor issue. If this is a customer's vehicle, or if you're looking to buy something, you can look at this one, distance traveled since top dead center. TDC is cleared. That's your check engine lights cleared. That will tell you if somebody has recently shut those off. And right now we're going to go ahead and hit OK because this is going to make the screen kind of messy. So I'm going to start the car even though we're stuck inside, and we should see some values change on here. And really what I want to look for is something that's deviating, and really it needs to get up to operating temperature in order for it to go to the values that it's supposed to. So here we've got some movement. The nice thing is it tells us our standard range over here, so anytime it goes above or below that, they're turning red. I'm going to go ahead and shut it off. I tried to run the Think Scan 662 through a couple different vehicles just to kind of show you what it's capable of. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to do a really good job. However, I do believe this, for the under $200 price range, is going to be very helpful. It's going to read your codes. It's going to help you reach a forum that is going to kind of give you some feedback on your codes and help you potentially fix your problem. The bottom line is this is going to be a good scan tool for the average DIY guy who is, or gal, who is trying to figure out what the check engine light is, and you can look at live data and try to verify from the live data where to look for your actual problem. So one issue that a lot of people have is they get a code and then they change the sensor. Well, the sensor is not always the problem. This will help you diagnose the problem and get a little deeper. That's where the live data comes in. And there's also a function on here where you can communicate with the different things on the car, actuators and things like that. So this will be a very good diagnostic tool for a person who is slightly above never touching cars to I work on cars a little bit. That's where this falls. So if you have any questions, put those in the comments below. I'd be happy to answer any questions you have. I will have a link in the description below to this particular unit. Thanks for watching.